Hey,
Yep, there we are. Now we are on LinkedIn. We are on Facebook. And look at that. We're on YouTube.
we're
Yay.
everywhere, like savoir faire.
Woo. I got some things. And look, I've got now the live stream chat. I'm gonna watch it this time. I'm gonna watch the live stream chat this time. I know I'm trying to
What?
level up my skills
What?
that I can chat back and forth. Anyway, hey, good morning, Leslie. You're not Leslie.
You know what? I
This is Leslie.
transformed myself because I wanted that African American experience. So I said, you know what?
Why not? Why not? You're gonna identify as African American now. It's just that's what you decide. Listen, you are Aunt Blair. Thanks so much for filling in for Leslie today.
You spoiled the whole thing.
She's been on vacation. She's taking a little vacation because she's in North Carolina, and next week she's going to be in Colorado. She and I, of course,
Okay.
are speaking at Dev2 Next
Hmm.
in Colorado. That is Venkat Subramaniam's conference, and so
Nice.
we're doing that. I'm going to do a keynote, and she's there. Yeah, it's going to be good. We're going to be talking about leadership stuff as we do, communication, things like that. It'll be good. It'll be a good conference. Of course, I'm the human skills person at a tech conference again, but it's fine. It's fine.
You're
Somebody
human and you have skills, so you are the right person for the
there we
job.
go. There we go. So, usually Lucky and Leslie is all about us talking about communication, leadership, some things in tech. Of course, we do our improv class and we do our monthly leadership practicum, which is
Great
once a month.
practicum. I'm a witness. I was there.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, second Friday of every month. So we do that. But every Wednesday, we do this. We do LinkedIn Live. We do Facebook Live. We do YouTube Live, all of them now. So, and look, I'm watching the chat stream for the first time. This is a new thing. So, because people were in there, they were chatting and they're saying, "Hey, did you see me? I watched you on Facebook this morning and I said hi." And then
Oh,
I couldn't see people. So I'm learning how Riverside is. See if I can see the people
great tool. It's a great
while they
tool.
chat. I can
Look
see
at
them.
you leveling it up. You go,
That's funny.
girl.
Yeah. So listen, you're a speaker. I'm a speaker.
Hmm.
There was a thing that came up lately in this world of speaking, at least
Do
in
tell.
tech speaking. So there is, I don't know if you've heard about it or not, but there's this thing called AI.
What is it, Christina Aldon?
Mm.
What is this AI you speak of?
Well, apparently it slices, it dices, it juliennes, it does the dishes, it does all those things. But really, lately, people have been telling it to do things. And so lately, I like a good AI model that it's really somebody described it as spicy autocorrect.
I have seen that. Yeah, I've seen that too.
Spicy autocorrect. That's a fun one. But it's really just an aggregator, right? It's a query. It's
Mhm.
for searching, and so it's searching
Agreed.
from a data set, and if the data aren't in that data set, then they're not going to be. So any kind of outliers or they're going to be out there and not included in the data set if it's not fed in. So that makes the model, of course, imperfect, right? It's
Hmm.
limited. Well, lately what had happened, how have you ever had
What
that
had happened
experience?
was,
They ask you for your slide deck in advance at a conference.
yeah,
You've heard that before, right? Usually they want
absolutely.
to vet people, especially like if you've never been at the conference before. I mean, I've even had when I spoke at the Pink IT conference, it's like the oldest IT conference around. They do it in Vegas, they do it on our, but I spoke at the one in Vegas here. I did a workshop, I did a breakout session, and they actually assigned me a person, like a mentor, a speaker mentor.
Okay.
And that person worked with me on my slide deck to change it stuff. In fact, The changes that they suggested, I got negative reviews on for the conference. So I
Huh.
should have kept it. I should have kept my slide deck how it was, but whatever. Now, there was a conference that said, "Hey, send us in your slide decks. We want." And what they did was they fed it into AI model, a language model, and they said, "Make a podcast out of this slide deck."
Okay.
So that's what it did. It took all of these slide decks and it summarized them.
Right.
Now, we're using Riverside right now. We have summaries and we do summary, but I don't put them out there because, well, remember, I'm just learning. So that's like maybe 2 weeks from now, skill set leveling up. but we, it gives a summary of everything that we've done. It takes the transcript, everything. It's not always correct.
Correct.
Not to mention when Leslie and I are speaking about things, and you and I have a show too, when we're speaking about things, there's nuance to the context.
Exactly.
Can you imagine if we took this transcript this morning and we were talking about Leslie now being a black man because she wanted the experience, and then it fills that in, and then it makes its own little podcast, and then people come in talking about how, oh, look at this white lady identifying as a black man, like it could pull up a bunch of random things out of context.
Absolutely. That is so crazy to think about. But yes, the AI wouldn't know. It would just spit the data out. It would just regurgitate in its own way
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
Anybody reading that on the other side is going to say, oh man, the social media hailstorm that could possibly come from that.
Now, that's just this conversation as an example right here, but think about all those slide decks now, and they're out there. The podcast is up. It's on Spotify. It's everywhere you listen to podcasts. It's distributed, and there are multiple talks there. People are upset.
Have you listened to it?
I didn't.
Okay.
But I saw it, and I saw the dialogue then as well that publicly went back and forth as well. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing.
Right? What's some of the things? What's the main theme if you were to summarize it?
A big somebody had said, a leader in the industry even, had said, "Hey, look, this isn't cool. Not only does it cut out, like, you asked for my slide deck in advance to review my slides, I get it, but you took like 3 minutes, you distilled it into 3 minutes, cut out all of the work for the whole day workshop that my cohort did. The co-presenter isn't even mentioned because for some reason the AI only, like, it skipped those bits. One person's name was spelled wrong. Other people, it was just a mishmash because, again, we're talking about tech. We're talking about architecture. We're talking about systems. You can't just take little bits of things and then mash them all up together and go here and tie it up in a bow. There's logic, right? There's systems and there's nuanced context when we're talking about these types of things. And so it was a thing. It was a thing, apparently it was said, hey, you know what? Lesson learned. I got it. I understand. But then I saw them defending on a different platform something else, so I was like, well, I don't really know if this is like the tone you want right now. Maybe just apologize instead of defending.
Or even take the thing down. I mean, if it has that many errors in it, and that many people are like, hey, what did you just do?
Why did you take my stuff without my permission, distill it down, and then monetize it, to put it up. I don't know if it's monetized because it's a it's a podcast, right? But
Could be
it
though.
certainly could be. Yeah.
That's just lazy. That's just laziness, if you ask me, Christine Aldon. That's just laziness. And I use AI probably every day for a variety of different things.
Right.
And you were the one who actually turned me on to it. So thank you, lucky girly girl, for turning me on to the thing that slices and dices and mows the grass and all of
Yeah.
the things. I've learned you just can't say summarize this, make it into a thing, and then
No.
just throw it out there. You
No, you
cannot do that
can't.
because you will get this kind of result
Correct.
90% of the time, if not more. So
Correct.
people are just lazy in the fact that they just think, oh well, the AI is the AI. I will say that the new version of ChatGPT is pretty dope. I ain't gonna lie,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Like you said, it doesn't take into the context and the nuance and all of those things. And if you're
It's
talking about writing, if you're talking about podcasts, you gotta be aware of that. And that's poor communication with the AI.
Yeah, that's right. Well, this is what happens a lot of times is a developer gets a great idea to try to use a new tool and they want to build something with it and they just but then don't even talk to the people who are actually going to be using the tech or who's they don't get that feedback, they don't test it out. Yeah, it's still up. I mean, there's a podcast episode that's 8 minutes and 5 seconds long. There's a podcast episode 4 minutes and 3 seconds long, 3 minutes and 53. So yeah, there's a good dozen. They're there still. They were all uploaded just a couple days ago and they're still there. So I don't know what the goal is. I guess, they just want all the content everywhere for everyone, and let's just run it through AI to do that. And so it messes it up then. So then what's the point of putting it everywhere for everyone? Maybe then so other language models can grab those data, put them back in the
Ah,
database, and now we're just regurgitating the same, but then the context and the nuance every single time gets more and more diluted, right?
exactly. What do they call that? The telephone game? Is
Oh,
that what they call it?
yeah, yeah, that's right. That is a telephone game. So yeah, using other people's content without their permission.
Mm,
Um,
could get
it's
you in trouble.
I think the conferences sometimes I've been in some conferences that are like that though. Um, or even companies. I'm very clear in my contracts, about recording things and then selling it, making sure if I'm on the stage, they're not taking it and then going to sell it
That's
without me
right.
knowing
That's
over and
right.
over again to millions of people. And it's my content.
Exactly. I had to do that with the client over the summer. It was pretty big one too.
Yeah.
And to have the courage to be able to do that because like, ooh, big company, big money, all
Yeah.
things, and just give it to them just because they're who they are. And I remember the guy saying, he's like, well, can you send the slides? And I was like, no, I can't, and I will
No,
not.
no, sure won't.
Nope, not gonna do that.
Sure won't. Yeah, I had I they had a innovation stage at a big conference here in Vegas, and it was specifically on that stage, human skills things, right? So I did the opening keynote on the innovation stage for diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And I had at every single level made sure, and I had this contract, and they're like, oh, sign the volunteer thing. And I'm like, I'm not signing your volunteer contract because I'm not a volunteer. And they
There it
kept
is.
all along the way, this and that. Oh, but it doesn't go in the system. So I was like, sorry about your system. And then I arrived and there they are. Sure enough, they've got the producer and all of the cameras and everything. And I made her right then and there get a new fresh contract so we could sign it again.
Mm,
Saying, I was like, no, this is very clear. And she said, oh, we're not going to sell any of these are just for live streaming. This is just, I was like, all right, cool, we're good, I'm good with that. And we signed it. But you have to make sure, because even in the disorganization on the day of, you'll show up and they'll be, oh, sorry, I didn't know, we didn't know. And then suddenly they're making thousands of dollars off your content and you never gave them permission. and you don't get a dime. It's one thing if you're getting a percentage of that. Okay, that's
That's right.
fine. I helped a friend negotiate that. They have reached out to me and they said, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I said, "I think you need to get paid."
Every time.
I think you need to get paid. So they worked it out, and that's
Every
good. But
time.
yeah, I want to talk about that today. Your content is your content. How people are using AI, they're scrambling. And I mean, I can't open up an app today. Photoshop, Illustrator. I
Girl,
can't open up,
seriously.
download a new app. I'm like, this is a
Seriously.
communication app. This is a children's game. Why is it asking me to connect for, like, everything is AI. AI, right? I don't think
Everything's
you keep
AI.
using that word, and I don't think you know what it means. It's spicy autocorrect. I like spicy autocorrect. That's my favorite so far.
How do
But
you think?
my friend Chase, he says keep them dumb. If you have a closed system, you tell it what to do, and it's learning on that model within
Mhm.
these specific limitations, and we know that. Keep the AI dumb so it can do its work really well, and then it's effective, because now you're giving in the parameters and you're saying this is a closed system, and you're saying, um, this is the context.
Mhm.
Now go do the task. Keep learning
Right.
how to do that task more efficiently until you get there, until you reach a plus or minus point 0.2 variance or something, so you just keep the learning model within controlled parameters. That's what my friend Chase does. He's working with some cool companies who are implementing that right now, because then you can trust it. Then you can trust what it's doing, and
Mhm.
that it's never going to push to production without a person overseeing it. Without
Right.
that it's never going to automatically just go do the things on its own, because
Right.
there are checks and balances in there, and there are limitations set. Keep the learning model dumb.
I've never heard it
Mhm.
articulated that way. I agree. I work with a lot of crypto bros overseas
Mhm.
and whatnot. They're trying to learn how to talk about the tech. They know the
Yeah,
tech well, can't talk about it very well.
yeah,
And I remember a young guy, they spun up a blockchain company. It's ridiculous the short amount of time that they spun this up, and all of the money and all the things. It's just every time I get a client like that, it just blows me away what they're
yeah,
doing. But he told me, young dude, 23, he said, where people mess up with AI is they try to train it, to your point, to do too much.
yes,
He said it's better to just train it on a thing and let it master that
yes,
thing. And when you say keep it dumb, I hear you say that. And I think I want my thing to do one thing well, and I'm going to keep it dumb on all these other things. I'm going to feed it
yes,
everything it needs, the context, the nuance, all of that for
yes,
this thing,
yes,
and develop it out to do this thing
yes.
very well. And I said, oh, interesting. That's a new concept he shared with me. And ever since he shared it with me, I've applied it in my own work, and it holds true to your
Yeah.
point about keeping it dumb.
Yeah, because then the parameters. You're very, very clear. That clarity then helps you make decisions faster, and you know exactly what you're getting. You know
Well,
exactly what you're getting.
imagine that. I know exactly what I'm getting. Say,
Yeah.
is it possible, Christina Aldon?
Well,
Is
I don't
it
know, when you're talking
possible?
about crypto, not so much, but that's another episode.
As another episode.
Hmm. That's funny. Anyway, so yeah, hey, I've got this speaking thing coming up in Colorado. I'm excited
Yes.
about that. I'm going to
Yes.
be there with the wonderful Leslie Martinet. Not you, her.
Leslie.
But Leslie and I will be there next month, next week,
Awesome.
and I'm excited. I get to see my friend Arlene. That's going to be great.
Nice.
She's in Colorado. I get to see one of my besties. I love traveling to places and then seeing my friends.
That's your jam. I mean, and you on all the continents, girl.
Yeah.
I mean, you're friends with the penguins, even. I
I
mean,
did ride the black.
you,
Yeah,
you got people everywhere.
it's funny, friends with the penguins. That's funny. I made that blog, yeah, about selfies with the penguins, taking selfies, because I learned how to take selfies when I went on the cruise ship from my friend. Because I would take selfies and I'd be like, cheese, and it was still like cheese when I'm a little kid, and your mom was cheese, smile, and I was taking
Exactly.
selfies like that, and I just didn't know how to do like the model face, and I didn't. So I had
Right.
some friends who were teaching me how to. And I remember my one friend Tanya. She's Ukrainian, and she lives in Australia. She runs like the largest JavaScript groups,
Really?
user groups in Australia. She grew them. She started and then she grew them to like 3, and then suddenly they were everywhere in like 2 years. Boom, just like that. She had like 30 user groups. I don't know. It was ridiculous. But she's
Nice.
amazing. And she, she's Ukrainian. She's a very strong personality, and
Hmm.
just a real amazing woman. And when I meet and talk with Tanya, she's always just a person who she doesn't care. Whatever. You know what? I'm
Love
gonna
it.
do what I do. You deal
Love
with
it.
yourself. I'm not having any of it. So what was I gonna say? Oh, I was saying something. Back it up. Tanya, Ukrainian.
You like going to travel with your
I love
friends?
going to travel with my friends, and I will be seeing my friends in Netherlands in 2 weeks because I'm speaking at Techorama. So that'll be really awesome too. So I get to see a bunch of my friends there.
What will you be talking about at Techorama? I love the title, like
Techorama?
Futurama, but it's
Yeah, well, they
Techorama.
have Techorama Belgium, and they have Techorama Netherlands, and so I'm speaking in Netherlands, and I am going to be speaking about boundaries, learning to say no. How do we communicate saying no when we've overcommitted? I used to be a people pleaser, and so
Mm.
that's always been a problem for me, and sometimes it still is a problem for me if I get into a situation where I want people to like me. Um, I start kind of manipulating the situation because I want people to like me.
What is not to like about Lucky Girl Christina Aldon? I
I
mean, that's
know.
easy work to like you.
I know. I don't know what.
How,
Yeah, no, I mean, it might be hard to believe, but I, do put my foot in my mouth many times. And I'm an emotional person, right? I'm an emotional person. I have a wide range of emotions that I experience. And sometimes I'm not really afraid to experience them in the moment if that's disappointment or upset. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like relative to a lot of other people, I'm fairly easily get along with. Fairly
I
easy.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. That's why I've been rocking with you for almost 2 years
I
now.
know. Can you believe it? It's great.
I can.
It's
One
good.
of the best things that happened to me in
Ugh,
2022.
yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. I know. And now we got our own thing we've been doing on Friday mornings.
That's
That's what
right.
we've been doing our lives.
That's right. The Lucky Blair Project.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait till you see. I got a new intro for us. I haven't shared it with you, so I'm gonna send that to you. Little intro. I know.
Oh,
Like I said, I'm been leveling up. Pretty soon we're gonna have music. I'm out of control.
I want a house band. I want the Roots as our
Yeah.
house
Oh,
band.
that would be so good. That would be so good. They can groove, man. I saw them perform. When was it? They were here last October, I think. They were good. They're kind of like I love Fish, right? They're
Mhm.
like Fish for jazz, for like the funk. They're ooh,
Say it,
good.
girl. You said the
Yeah.
funk.
I get in, love me some roots. Yeah, so it's good. I love that
House
because
band, Christine Aldon. House band is on the horizon.
we're gonna work on it. Lucky
I'm
Black
manifesting
Project.
it right now. House
Maybe we can
band.
put out some feelers. I mean, it is Vegas here. I could set them up in the corner. Maybe they could. I've got
Yes.
my little sparkly light over there. We could maybe move them.
Yes.
I don't know. That's funny. That's funny. All right. Well, listen, we're at that time.
It is about that time.
All right. So I hope you have
Oh,
an amazing day. I am going to be in Colorado next week. So I think Lucky and Leslie Live is probably going to be Leslie and I sitting together in
on
Colorado.
location in the same place.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be
Interwebs, are you ready for this? Are you
fun.
ready? If you're not ready, you got a week to get ready.
You got a week to get ready. That's right. Every Wednesday, LinkedIn Live, YouTube
Yes,
Live, and Facebook Live, 7 a.m. Pacific and 10 Central. We're going to be right here. So next week, we'll see you then. Unless you're going to be in Colorado. In that case, I'll see you actually in my classroom.
that's right. And make sure you get to that conference and get in that classroom because
Yeah.
you don't want to miss what Lucky and Leslie has in store for you.
I'll put the link in the comments. Awesome.
There it is.
All right.
There it
Well,
is.
there you have an amazing day, friend.
I always do. You do the same. Make it a great hump day.
Thank you. Bye.